All right, folks. Welcome to another live stream of the This Week in Photo critique. This is going to be critique number 116, and yeah, I'm excited. This one is the topic for this one was black and white movement. Black and white movement. So we're going to see what the TWiP community came up with. Troy Miller is in the house to chat through this stuff with me. What's going on, Troy?
Hey, it's hot.
It's hot. I see you got your LED back there fixed on your shelf. So.
Yes, I did. I figured out how to wire it up over there. So I set the blue tone, makes me feel a little bit cooler.
You got that typical Hollywood orange and teal going on there. I see. The kind of blue, cool and warm. Is that intentional?
No, and I put out a recording light. I actually have a red light now that shines outside my office, so that anybody who walks by, it's red when I'm recording and it's green when I'm on a conference.
You got a tally light, an on-air. You know they have those on-air illuminated signs you can get on Amazon, right?
So yeah, this is better. I have a scene set on my on my Hue app. And I just go, oh, I'm podcasting. Okay, great. All the lights come on. They go the right colors. My red light turns on the outside.
This pandemic needs to end, man. You need to get out of there. Like building a Winchester mystery house inside your house with tech. I love it.
Well, that way, like Kira downstairs, if she wants to make a smoothie, she goes, it's a green light. I can make a smoothie in the house. Or it's like, ooh, it's red. Dad's recording. I shouldn't be making a smoothie.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, the things that go on in the Miller household, man. The Miller household. All right. Well, cool. Let's dive into this. We've got 15 submissions to go through, 15 really good shots
that they're great.
People have submitted or submit. Are you ready to dive in?
I am ready. Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at the community here.
We've got too many favorites.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, there are a lot of favorites in here. And here's the post I just made about this stream. How about that? That is like Inception right there. If I click on that, the universe will end.
That's true, yeah. It's like seeing yourself in time travel.
Exactly. First shot is from Stephen Scharf. Jiggy Dog at Speed. Okay, cool.
I love it.
Let's bring that up.
Nice. I love the border right away. I love that presentation. That's super slick.
With this slight little faint white key line on the inside of the border. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's sharp level detail right there. See?
Yeah, it is. No, this is tack sharp. I love it. I would like to see, maybe the back of the rider burned down just a little bit, but he's in the sunlight. And I like how tight it is. It creates a lot of good tension, the angle. It's really solid. Not a whole lot to add to that.
Yeah, this is cool. You know what I noticed though? This is normally we see these motorsport shots and they're going from right to left, right? This one's going right. This one's going left to right. What's going on here? Was this taken in Australia, Steven? Like what's happening?
Yeah. No, this is pretty solid. I mean, the stream is showing it a lot more contrasty than it actually is and blocking the highlights.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, blocking the shadows. But there is amazing detail in that front wheel and the spokes and the tire. As I know that Steven is a perfectionist, so
yeah. There's just FYI for the folks that are watching this in these streams for the first time. Normally, normally it doesn't really matter, that the highlights are destroyed and the shadows are crushed to oblivion. But in these shots that we look at in these critiques, it really, really matters because the artists that are submitting these go through special pains to make sure that the highlights are retained and the shadows aren't crushed. And then you send it into YouTube and, it's like they just destroy it to all oblivion. Just FYI, just a little disclaimer that folks like Stephen Scharf, of course, did pay attention to the highlights and shadows in here, and they did not submit this with blown out values, as you see represented.
And we know that. Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, good job, Stephen Scharf. Thank you.
Yep. Great shot. Great panning shot. That's tough to do.
Yep. All right. Next shot up is from Karen Sweeney. And Karen says, the park only served Eastern gray. The park only Served Eastern gray squirrel yet again. Scratch. Okay. That's awesome.
Oh
Look at that
man.
face. When I see these kind of shots, I think Joshua Sommerfeld. I don't know why. It's Joshua. Joshua's
Yeah.
the critter capturer. What do you think of the
Yeah.
shot?
I love that the shot is very cute. I would really like to see us crop in quite a bit closer. There's a lot of negative space that we don't need, and I think we need to bring up the highlights, just
Yeah,
the
it feels
highlights
a
quite a
little
bit.
bit flat to me. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right. Like it could have a little bit more contrast, a little bit more pop in there.
yeah,
Yeah, and then crop in a little bit, right? Because we don't really need that entire environment of the wood and the bokeh on the background. We want to get in because I find myself zooming in, just kind of looking in to see what the expression on that squirrel's face was. So,
right,
like, what is he thinking
right.
about?
Yeah,
And where's
yeah. I
his
mean, but
nut?
it's
Where's the nut?
where's the nut? Yeah, he's
That
like,
should
oh,
be.
it's Karen.
Yeah, exactly. It's a caption contest. Where's the nut?
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun. That'd be fun to do a caption contest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but crop it in tighter. Bring up those highlights. I think that you'll get a much better contrast out of that image, which I think this image could really use.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And folks, if you're watching this, I see people are piling in. Thank you. I'm glad people are watching this. Please, if you would, give us a thumbs up so that the YouTube robot will pay attention to us. But you don't have to. But if you do, that would be really nice of you.
That's right.
All right, moving right along. Next shot up is from Eric Pronsky. And Eric says, remember, folks, the topic of this critique was black and white movement. And Eric says, climbing out of a creek, we were off-road last Saturday in Texas Hill Country and came upon these people in Jeeps and off-road vehicles showing that they could climb almost vertically out of this creek. Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
man. Look at this. Look at
Yeah.
that. That's Mad Max action right there.
Oh God, I want to go do that again. That
You
is
used to do this?
amazing. Not to this extent, but more of our regular pickups. We didn't have winches and custom built buggies. We did this stuff in Glamis in the desert when we went out, but I could do this. I could do this all day. This stuff is great. I can smell it and hear it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this
It's
is good.
interesting. What do those sound like? Those remind me of what was it? I was at this Harley dealership the other day, and they were saying that depending on the Harley, that the sound of the engine is essentially potato, 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 potato.
Yeah. Okay, that's a 2-cylinder. This is probably a V8. So this scares the timid when these things fire up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
they're quite amazing. Yeah, they're really quite
That
amazing.
thing looks hungry. It looks like it's
And they
like,
smell so good. Now we're not even talking about the photography now. I'm just all distracted by horsepower.
but that's
and-
what photography's for. It has transported you, time traveled you to the location where this monster is trying to get out of that hole.
Yeah, yeah. As far as the shot goes, I really dig the shot. Great timing. The wheels are off the ground. We got a little bit of motion in the wheels. I think that is so important in the imagery that we create, is that it's not just static and boring when it's a thing that should be moving, right? If it's a building, then okay, we really shouldn't see it off the ground. But in this case, great timing, water splash, tires spinning, ass up in the air like that.
Yeah.
This is good
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure. Yeah, this is the decisive motion, decisive moment, right? Per
Yep.
Cartier-Bresson.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The suspension's fully dropped. So somebody who does off road, they're really going to appreciate this. So this is also, something to remember, is that when we're taking photographs, you have to think about the audience, right? So if you're going to show this to somebody who doesn't do any off roading or doesn't have any appreciation for that, then this is going to have less meaning. It might still look cool, but for somebody that's off roading, having the timing, the limiting strap, that's that strap right dead center, right in front of the pulleys, that's catching the suspension from overextending. So like this thing is off the ground. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah, love it. That's a rat hole, though, man. In terms of hobby time and money, right there. If you're gonna get in that world, you got to get in that world.
Dwayne dropped in the chat. He says starting these things is like dropping an M80 in a tin can inside of a tin can inside of an echo room. That is a great description. That's true.
Oh man, yeah. Now I want to hear him. I can almost hear him now.
Oh, I'll just go start my truck. It sounds a little bit like that.
Don't you have a neighbor that has a Corvette that does that or something?
It doesn't sound like that, but it sounds good. I like to hear it.
All right, next shot is up from Mark Harris again. I'm looking at the stream, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's having its way with the highlights on and the shadows on this image.
It
Uh,
is. It is. And to be fair, it's not like that in the actual image. So the
no, it
highlights
is
are there.
not. Yeah, so TWiP
Yeah.
Pro members, go check these images out on the site. So he says Rocky Mountain National Park Rapids, a bit of a cliche, but why not? Yeah, absolutely, why not? Long exposure and loves water. So
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I would probably crop off the upper portion of the foliage because I think that the story is really sort of in that V shape in the lower center
hmm
and the horizontal, aspect of that stream flowing by. So I don't think we need as much vertical space, but
yeah, and
exceptionally well done. I want to go there.
here's that comment from Shashin Photography, starting these like dropping M80 in a tin can
Yeah.
inside of an echo room. Not for this particular one, but yeah, for that previous one. Yeah, this is cool. I like these kinds of shots. These shots are interesting. Have you ever done any shots like this, Troy, in your genre, where you do long exposures and sort of have a portrait of a bride or a family or something in there? Do you ever go this artistic?
No,
No.
no, really don't have time. And I don't get to photograph many weddings around streams and stuff. So if I had, I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to show some motion. It's cool to stop the motion in these things and see the splashes happening. But at the same time, our brains actually sense the motion. We see that, and
Yeah.
then but photographically, that's how we can tell that there's motion there. So I this is always great for whether it's star trails or clouds. Motion. Yeah, put some
Motion.
motion
Yeah.
there. Yep.
Interesting. Cool. All right. Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Mark Harris, for that shot.
Good job, Mark.
All right. Next shot up is from Tim Engel. Tim says black and white motion, 30th of a second at f9, ISO 200. Look at that. Look how minimalist and to the point Tim is. Look at that. Shot at this aperture, this ISO.
This was definitely going to be my favorite, but it doesn't have a border, so I don't know
Oh,
if I
come
can.
on. Come on. Jeez, you and your border. What is this, Taco Bell? Come on.
I did that for Tim.
I love
Uh,
it.
no, this is really one of my favorites. I just love the candid, carefree nature of this. Whether it was intentional or whether he orchestrated this or whether the model just sort of played into it. I think it's captured exceptionally well. I love the space, even the negative space in the top left corner. I like that. It feels very natural. So,
Yeah, I agree. And I like these kinds of shots too, because it's you can have boudoir where like or sexy shots that are obviously sexy and out of place.
right,
And it's like
right.
why is she standing like that, holding her bra strap and looking seductively at the camera? Why?
Yep.
My brain always goes to that. Why is she laying on the bed with her arched back? And I've never
Yeah,
seen anybody do that in real life. Like, why? This shot is real. Right? You could totally imagine somebody doing this, and he caught them peak motion. Whether or
right.
not this was staged, it's plausible that this could be reality versus, a posed sort of setup shot to elicit some sort of sexual response or something.
Right. And I think that this is important for all of us at all photography levels is that if you're going to catch a candid moment, learn to recognize a candid moment for what it is and how good it is. If it's a posed moment that you want to look candid, you also have to understand what candid moments look like so that you can control it. Now, if this was a pose, if this was something that, okay, I'm sitting on a chair and I'm posing, I would say, well, her left arm is intersecting with her waist. I would like to see some space there, things like that. But
The
this is
rules are
not
different.
that.
Yeah, the
Right. The
rules
rules
are
are different.
different. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And that's interesting that you bring that up because I was having a conversation with some folks on the 500 Pixels PX team, and we went down this rat hole. We were talking about the whole genre of posed but candid. The because
Right.
it's almost like playing in the best of both worlds. Because if you concept a shot where you like, man, I wish I could have a shot of somebody doing X, Y, and Z, and I catch them in motion. You rebuild that shot and shoot it as if it was a candid, but then, it's not, because you were in control of every aspect of it, where in the final product, it looks like you just grabbed it serendipitously. So,
Right. And I think the hardest thing to do, like for me, I elicit certain responses in my subjects to get the smile or to get the body language that I want. That
mhm,
is way harder than walking over to somebody and saying, okay, sit here, put your hand here, lean here, point your toe there.
mhm.
Right. But then it doesn't look as natural as it is talking to somebody, like, hey, Mark, why don't you go ahead and lean against that post, turn your head slightly to the left. Yeah, look right over here at me. Don't worry, you're going to get ice cream when you're done with this. You're looking good. And you get a little tweak and a smile. And that's the shot that looks candid, even
Mhm.
though you posed it. But it's
Yeah, that's a whole conversation. We should bring that up in the member mixer. Just like the ethics of it, right? Just like
right.
we talk about, and let me bring us back on camera for a second. We talk about the whole, what's right to photo manipulate, right? And if you're manipulating a photo and adding elements to that photo or taking elements away from that photo, which is completely fine, and you're taking artistic license to do whatever the heck you want with your pixels, but should
Right.
you represent that as the truth, right? That giant moon
Yeah.
was actually positioned perfectly behind the Empire State Building. That's how I caught it, right? Or do you say, yeah, I worked really hard to make this composite look realistic? Same with this kind of stuff, with these shots that are candid, that appear candid, and may or may not have been influenced by you. Should you disclose that, or just let the photo fly? Right? I
Just
don't
let
know.
the look, it's your art. Just let the photo fly. But I think it's knowing how to do it is really important. Understanding the differences between using natural light, and then being able to fake that and say, okay, I did this in a studio, but it looks like natural light, or this natural light looks like it was really, really simple by a window, but there's three light setups there, right? Like, you need to know how to use those tools to
Hmm.
give you the look that you want.
Yeah,
So that's just expansive knowledge. That's just
yeah.
us spending time. Yeah.
And that's the fun part about photography, I think, because it's awesome, because there's no like rules or one right way to do anything. It is,
Right.
it's all subjective. It's
Yeah.
the nature of time travel.
Yep.
All right, next shout up is from Craig Stamfley, whom I was
Ah,
supposed to talk to this weekend. Sorry, Craig, I did not. We did not connect. Um,
those
and he says,
waves.
blurry vision, shot this with his 200 millimeter at f22, 1/10 of a second at ISO 640. Look at that.
I love
It's got
it.
sharp and non-sharp elements. Oh, look, and YouTube is not destroying it too badly, although on my screen it has a green shift. I don't know why, but it looks
Right.
good. Yeah,
Right.
this is,
I
if you have
love.
a green shift on your on your screen, it's not actually green shifted. It's black and white.
Oh, it's not. No, that's really weird. I have to work on that. I have ideas. Um, for Craig's image, I think the shadows need to come down a little bit, right? Like what we're seeing in the stream. I think the contrast needs to come more into play. So darken the shadows, bring those highlights up a little bit.
Hmm.
He did put a little border on that, which I think is really nice.
He
A
did, yeah,
little white line.
yeah, a couple
Yeah.
pixels, yeah. Well, you and those borders. Why are you fascinated with borders, Troy Miller? Like,
I, we've had this
I
conversation.
think this is psychological. I think psychologically you want to be trapped. And you need a border.
Maybe,
you
maybe.
need a fence to make you feel good. Oh man, I love it. I love it. But
It
this
looks
shot,
good. I like it.
I like this shot a lot. I mean, we've seen waves from Craig, and so clearly they have their fair share of nice looking waves out there, and Craig has the talent to capture them. But
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's not sharp but sharp at the same time, and we're seeing motion. You can feel like you're there. This is a split second, never to happen again, and he caught it right there.
Yep. Yeah. Peak moment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those things, like in abstract, it's easy for us to see what the subject is and what the story is.
Yeah.
Right. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's really good. Our brains really like that. We look at something, we're like, oh, look at that. He's moving and there's water spray and we get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice shot. Yeah, and clear use of photography, quote unquote rules, right? With rule of thirds, and
Correct.
and the
Yep.
subject is moving into the shot versus moving out of the shot. The subject's not too close to the edge of the frame. He's not breaking the horizon, right? So yeah, he
Yeah.
did a lot of stuff right on this. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet it looks good in color too. He's shown images from that location before, and the water there's gorgeous.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Craig Sanfley.
Yes.
Next shot up is from Jim Peters.
Jim.
Jim says, converted to black and white in Lightroom. He took this with his Pentax
Oh.
645Z using their 640 Pentax A645 20 mil or 120 millimeter at f4. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just kind of playing with crop. I love the movement of the birds. I shoot a lot of that panning shots with birds anytime I'm at the beach and stuff. I love that sort of atmosphere that creates, because we see birds moving all the time. For me in this shot, I like the sky more than I like the foreground, so I would probably crop out probably 2/3 of the water and just make it sky, birds, and then that little cloud layer, and then the horizon. So somewhere
So
in there,
like quadrants. So 1/4 water, 1/4 the landmass and the horizon, 1/4 the birds, and the last quarter of the sky.
yeah, something like that. I don't think that's landmass in the back. I just think that's the clouds.
Oh,
But
this
it
is where
looks
the
like a
clouds are
landmass.
breaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I really like that. Yeah, yeah. That's really great. I like how the birds are balanced from the edge. It's kind of freaking with my I want to crop it brain, but it's
Yeah.
got good tension. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I agree with you cropping up from the bottom a little bit. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not much to say about this shot. I think my own aesthetic, I would like to see it a little bit more contrasty, I guess is the word,
Yep.
or maybe sprinkle, a pinch of clarity in there or something. I don't know. There's something that it
I
made it
agree.
jump out a little
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, bring up some detail in those. Bring some highlights in the whites, in the white areas. Yeah, the peak. Yep.
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 Absolutely.
Makes our brains happy. Yes.
Yeah.
I like the black and white subject matter. I like that. All black and white. That's great.
I know, all the time. Black and white. That should be a topic. Black and white with borders, right? We'll call it the Troy Miller critique. Black and white, the BBB, black and white, borders, and brides. You gotta incorporate those things.
That's not awful.
B3, the B3 critique. All right, next shot up is from Armando. Look at this shot. He says, I took this photo in Chennai, India, just before a strong storm, edited in Lightroom.
Wow.
Look at this. You see those funnels forming up there?
Wow.
That is nature's way of saying, go in the opposite direction, human. I will eat you. Go away.
Yeah. In California, we don't really get storms like this, but like Midwest and certainly other countries and back east, you do.
Look at that. And they clearly this happens all the time, because they're just like, hey, check it out. Yeah, it's a show. Let's look at it. And I'm like, no, it would not happen. On the merits of this, the composition and the photo itself, what do you think?
I really appreciate that the horizon is on the lower third. I think that's great. So it's really emphasizing the cloud. So the cloud is really our hero in this image. And then the lower is just sort of the secondary subject matter of, hey, here's people on the beach. Look at those clouds. Oh, there's people still here, but oh, look at those clouds. And that's where I think our eyes stay and kind of bounce around. So I think that it's very, very well done. I think this is finished ideally.
I looked at this shot and I had to zoom in on those clouds up there and those what looks like funnels forming, and I was like,
Right.
Is that real? Does that actually happen? Like, was it 5 funnels at least happening like right next to each other? Can that happen in reality? Clearly it can, but
Yeah. Well, it's an alien spacecraft coming through the clouds right there. This is just before it breaks through the clouds.
And right before Bill Pullman's speech about Independence Day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Today is our Independence Day.
This is our Independence Day. Yeah.
All right, Armando, man, thank you for that.
Yeah, that's great. And I can tell that it's got a heavy color saturation, even though it's in black and white.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because that's Armando. That's his style.
All right, next shot is from Nora Zanatnis, and Nora says, Impact with her Nikon D7200. February in Iceland, black sand and white foam that looked like milk. Yeah, it does. Look at that.
I love these
That
shots.
is crazy. Look at it on the stream. The stream is just destroying this shot. Like
Yeah.
the stream is eating this shot like it's a bag of Doritos. On the
Yep.
site, it looks great. On the stream, not so much.
Yep.
And I'm told in the actual recording, it looks the shots look closer to reality. So I think it's just the whatever's happening when we stream this is destroying the images. You know, they're crushing them down for capacity probably. But I think
Yeah.
the replay is better. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and well, obviously the TWiP community members can see it in TWiP, so they get to see that. So that's awful nice. I really appreciate in this image not just the border, but I like the symmetry. You know, the rock is in the center; it's on the lower third. That splash is square. I think we could tighten down the top crop a little bit, but then you would lose that square format. So that's pretty cool. And these splashes are so much fun, and they're not super easy to get. You know, you look at that and think, oh yeah, I'll just no, they're not easy to grab. So
this shot, would you think was probably one of 100, right?
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I've tried to get these shots, and it's one of those things that you have to sit there, and your wife wants to go to dinner, and the reservations are soon, and you got to run, and but it's like. Oh, I think I got one, you know, or the shapes aren't what you want. You know, maybe you captured them, but the shapes aren't just ideal. So, yeah, this is beautiful.
That
This
draws
is
you in.
this is a portfolio image for sure. Put that in your portfolio folder.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. And the border, you're good with the border, of course. Of course, you need that border because without that border, those waves would escape, right?
They would. You can't have escaping waves.
Can't have those things. Imagine those things you run around your house. You gotta, you gotta have those contained. I love it. I love it. That's a cool shot. Thank you, Nora. Really cool shot.
What's our
All right.
next one?
Joshua Sommerfeld is up next. I told you, critters. Previously posted in show and tell, but I think this fits the topic better than anything else I've shot. Yellow-bellied water snake shot in March of this year. I was running alongside it as it swam. Look at this thing. Look at the detail in here. That is crazy.
Yeah. This is
Loch Ness. This is Loch Ness snake right there.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite images that Josh was ever shown us. I love the symmetry, the balance, the V shape of the wave, of the wake, the fact that the snake is smelling the air as it's moving through, and the snake's head is sharp, but as we taper to the right, maybe that's motion blur or something, you know, so it goes a little bit soft. So I think that's fantastic, and it really keeps our eye on the snake itself, and the balance is really quite nice.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder what it would look like if we flipped it horizontally. So that way I don't feel like the snake's coming at me. I would feel like the snake's moving away from me, which I think I would enjoy better.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. The only comment I have on this one, I agree with everything you said. This is one of my favorite shots as well. I just want him to have a little bit more space to go into. Like, because it looks like we're losing him. We're cutting him off a little bit on the tail. So I probably would have maybe cut off a little bit more of his tail and gave him a little bit more water to move into. But that's subjective. You know, I like looking at it. I like the fact that he's clearly disturbing otherwise calm waters, moving through it. He's smelling the air. You can see the movement. So you know how snakes move through water. You can see the movement of his body.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's a beautiful animal.
Yep. This is a great shot, and I'm not a huge fan of snakes. Like I love seeing them, but I think that if I saw this coming through the water, I don't know that I would be more inclined to photograph it or move away.
If you have a pool in your house. If you were like waiting in the middle of the deep end and you saw this coming at you, what would you do?
I would scream like a 5-year-old.
Mama! 50-something-year-old dude screaming "Mama" in the pool.
Yeah, and then I would take a picture of it and I would send it to Joshua and say, "Is this dangerous?" Because he knows. But to
No.
be fair, I know Joshua knows his reptiles well enough to know what's safe and what's not safe, which is comforting to know. But to the ignorant city dweller that I am, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's it's like a lot of things. Only a couple of them are poisonous, but that means they're all poisonous. So
Yeah,
and I'm too ignorant to know which is which. So Darwin
yeah,
says stay away from all of them.
yeah. But what a great shot. No matter how you crop it or flip it or whatever, I think that the timing is fantastic with the tongue out and the head
Yeah.
is sharp and above the water. Well done. Yeah,
Hmm.
well done.
Really well done. Good job. Joshua, you should be proud. All right, next shot is from Mark Charette, also known
Mark.
as 360 Work Picks or Work Picks 360
Yes.
Virtual Tours. Who's in the chat? Mark Charette.
Is he? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Yep, let's bring
Mark.
this shot up. All right, wait, was there a caption on this one? In step between shadows. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. I like how they're in step. That is great. That is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Military.
Fun shot. Yeah, they're just in sync with each other. That's all. They just finished their ice cream and they're gonna finish their walk. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with me and ice cream today. Maybe because it's hot.
Is it hot in there? It's pretty cool in my office. I don't know.
Yeah, it's getting hot. It's getting hot.
I'm telling you, just buckle down and get your air conditioner. Figure it out. Do it.
I know. For me, for this shot, I feel like the crop is a little bit off the balance. We have more space on the left than we need. The top is crowded a little bit, and I don't think we need the space at the bottom. If there is space in the image, I would say, shift them lower and to the left and leave them some space at the top so that they're kind of walking into the scene as opposed to, so tight in that top right corner.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like the snake, right? They're moving
Yeah.
moving out of the frame too close to being out of our field of view.
Right, right. And then there's, this just doesn't have the balance that I think it could have. If you don't have the space top and to the right, just crop the left and the bottom to be the same, right? So that it's centered.
Yep. I like these shots though, like when photographers aren't afraid not to show faces. Right? It's like, okay, you could tell a lot. You could tell a lot and your brain goes in different directions when you don't see
Right.
faces in the shot. Because you're
Right.
kind of forced to extrapolate what's going on there without having the benefit of emotion to tell you. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, we get to fill in the blanks with our own story, which I think is wonderful. I mean, that's one of the things I do a lot, whether it's on a wedding day or engagement sessions or family, is do a walking shot and then walking away. And I've had that debate with photographers before. It's like, oh, they'll never buy that. They got to see their faces. No, because they see themselves in the way that they want to. And this is more storytelling, right? It's not as obvious. It's a little bit more abstract. So always look at the other side of things.
Very cool.
Good job. Good job, Mark. And it's not 3D, so that's great.
Yeah, I know.
Or
Mark has
360
range.
degrees. Yeah,
He has range. Yeah.
he
This is
definitely
really,
does.
really cool shot. Thank you, Mark Charette. Michael Rhino's up next. And Michael says, motion in both incoming and outgoing waves after the sun has set behind Face Rock Mountain in Bandon, Oregon.
I know where that's at. That
And
is
now I
so
see the face on that rock. Damn it.
Yeah. Forever.
Forever. Look at that.
Forever.
Yeah, it's a dude snoring. That's what's going on right there.
Yeah.
That's a cool
Yeah.
shot. Have you been there? Have you seen this rock?
Yep. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, it's a really beautiful place. It's a wonderful place to shoot, and there's so much to shoot, and it's been photographed a lot, but there's so much to shoot that it's almost overwhelming at times, So, yeah, it's really, really cool place.
Yeah.
This image to me is just begging for symmetry, and I'm, maybe it's not ideal for most people, but I feel like crop it so the rock is in the center vertically, right? And move those clouds slightly to the right. I realize that's cheating, maybe a little cheating.
I think that's the first time I ever heard you say move clouds. Look at that.
Move the clouds.
I thought you were going to say
just add more.
Content
add a little
aware,
bit more.
content aware, clone those clouds out and add your own clouds. Add some fake clouds back in, right?
And I don't think we need all that extra space on the right. I don't see how it really adds to the image.
Mm-hmm.
Because the hero is that rock,
Yeah, it is. It
face
is.
rock.
That's interesting. Look at that.
Yeah, I love the movement in the water. That's very well done. That's the way
Mm-hmm.
that you should shoot that. Yeah.
I like the tones in this. Yeah, it's interesting. The tones on Face Rock itself. There's when I first looked at it, I was like, did he like just dodge that out? And because the tonal range of that rock is different than the blacks of the rocks in the foreground. So my brain is like, well, how come that one isn't the same? But that's much farther away, and there's haze between these rocks and that rock, right? So
Right, and I would probably take face rock down to be more
silhouette.
of a silhouette. Yeah, yeah. I think it's more dramatic if we do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shashin Photography in the chat says moving the clouds will give you more room to add a border. You're being
He
typecast,
understands
Troy.
Dwayne understands the border thing. He gets it.
I think you're polluting people with that border stuff. Like, okay, everything needs to have a border.
Oh, all right. That's it. This is the last time I'm going to mention borders.
Lies. All right, next shout up is from Michael DeRay.
Michael DeRay.
All right, he says monochromatic movement. He shot micro four thirds action Olympus EM5 with the Lumix 45-200 lens on there.
This is fun. This is a really fun shot. I like this a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely in motion for sure.
No cropping needed. I like the fact that the tree is in the upper right hand corner. It looks like the bird is headed there. I think that's great. A little bit more in the highlights, and if you're in Lightroom or Capture One, you just grab that highlight or white slider and just bring up the whites or highlights a little bit more, especially on the bird. It'll really make it pop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only thing. I was trying to search for a way to articulate what you just did. How do you make that bird pop out of there? Because the tonal range on the bird is very similar to the tonal range of the background. So you can see it's a bird obviously because our brains know what a bird is, but it could stand to pop out of that or be lifted out of that background just a little bit more.
Yep, we have a nice shallow depth of field, which is wonderful. That separates the bird, but then when you get sort of those gray tones, won't really separate that bird enough. So you really kind of just do some dodging and burning on the background, burn the background down a bit. You can dodge the bird and bring up the highlights in the bird's feathers. Not the shadows so much because that'll flatten it, but just the highlights, and that'd be great.
Yeah. Hey, there's a drinking game kicking off in the comments. They're saying whenever you mention a border, someone has to take a shot.
Last time they said every time I mention black and white, they take a shot.
Are you seeing a trend here?
Drinking games. That's what I'm seeing. I'm so down for that.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, remember
Wayne,
Mixer on Friday, every Friday.
Wayne, we need to organize that.
Yeah. I love it. Cool. All right. Michael DeRay did it again. Thank you, sir.
I like saying Michael's name, Michael DeRay.
I got to figure out how to make that E character. I still can't figure out.
Hold down the E on the keyboard.
You just hold it down?
Yeah, just hold it down. It pops up. Yeah,
because
just hold it
option
down.
E gives you the accent. I don't know how to
Nope.
get the holding E.
No, you just hold the E down, then a little menu pops up, and then you can choose the E.
All right. When I do that, I get a bunch of E's. So I don't know.
Well, see, I just put it in the chat just to prove that I can do it.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
Maybe I don't have repeat turned on. You got to turn off repeat.
Yeah, maybe that's what I have on. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it
you
is. I see it. Lamb is the final shot.
Lamb.
And he says, my entry for photo critique number 116 or photo critique 116's theme black and white movement. The goalkeeper has been selectively highlighted on purpose to show that he has done his best to save the ball while the opponent player was overjoyed jumping high. Shot this with a Nikon 1J5. Take a look.
That's great. That's great. The hero to me in this shot, like the shot that the part that I really am drawn to is the kid in the top right hand corner who's super excited, right? Mm-hmm. Hands up. Like you could, and I wouldn't suggest you do this, but you almost have two images here where you could crop out the goalie and just that kid jumping. You know exactly what he's doing. So I love that that's part of this image.
Nice. I agree. I agree with that. I love the composition of this shot, um, and just the peak action because it's the emotion. You kind of be there with these kids. I wish the dodge job on the guy at the goalie, I guess,
Right.
was less obvious because it looks like it's just, and I don't know if that's an artistic choice or not, or if it could have been done a different way, like maybe selecting that kid and bringing up his values more versus just kind of an overall dodge of that area of the frame. But my eye goes to that, and as a photographer, I instantly think, "Oh, that was dodged," and but I want to see it. I understand he was trying to bring that for the kid out more. I wonder if he could have brought
Right.
him out more with more of a purposeful selection on that kid and bringing those values out versus the entire area. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that the vignette that's around him could be less obvious.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not offensive the way that it is, and maybe offensive is a strong word, but it's not bad because it's got a nice blend and it tapers off nicely. So to me, it feels very intentional. So I accepted it that because I feel like the artist that made it, Lamb, did it on purpose, right? And he thought about it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a many ways that you could have highlighted that.
Yeah, yeah, cool shot though. I guess
Very
Lamb is
good.
back to photography again. Remember, he said he was dropping photography for a little while to get into bicycling or something else, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
back shooting. You couldn't leave us. You couldn't leave us, Lamb. I knew it. All right, all right. I think that's. Oh, yeah, one more shot. Yeah, Peter Levshin's shot here. Peter
Oh.
says, Indo, safety first, wearing shoes, going fast, and screaming. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I've seen this. I saw this, dozens and dozens of times in Vietnam when I was there. And it's
Really?
just,
Oh, this
yeah,
is
it's crazy.
now I want to go start my dirt bike just so I can smell the exhaust. We got off-road trucks, we got motorcycles. Oh man.
Hey, the motorcycle especially is built-in social distancing. So go for it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh this is a great panning shot. This is not easy to do. I'm wondering, are there four kids on there or three? And the back kid is
I
just, I think
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
four
question.
people.
I want to say I would place money on three, but there may be four.
I'm gonna go with four. Peter, you got to let us know how many people are on it. So,
Yeah, because I
uh, let-
see what you're saying. Because like right in this area here, is that another person kind of sandwiched
yeah,
between the two? Yeah.
yeah. But it's great that the handlebars are in focus. That's where we have the least amount of blur from the panning. So as you're panning, that's the spot that you're keeping in the center of the camera or on your focus point,
Mm-hmm.
which is really nice. Because I think if it was anywhere else on any of the people, it wouldn't be as exciting because then you're highlighting that one person. So
Yeah. Yeah.
composition's good. Color toning is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not bad. Yeah, and purposeful motion blur. I love that.
Purposeful motion blur. Yep. Yep.
Hmm. Motion blur as a tool versus a oops. Damn, I should have picked a faster shutter speed.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very cool shot. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That was probably shot in infrared too. I'm assuming Peter shoots everything in infrared. So
yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, we got work to do. Um, do you have a favorite of all the ones that we looked at so far?
I have 15 favorites.
Yeah, I know. You have to pick a favorite child. Like, which child would you send to college?
I'm gonna go with Tim. I
Tim
like
Ingle. Okay, let's
I like
bring Tim's up.
Tim's. Yeah.
Okay, so you are thinking this guy right here is our shot.
I love the casualness of the human movement and the form and just the fun and yeah, I like the storytelling in there. I just think it's great. I
All
really
right.
do.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you too. Yeah, because it,
If,
it it fits right in with the theme, right? So black and white
right.
and motion, right? In
I
the
mean, it would be
or
better
movement.
if we had her standing next to Eric's rock crawler with the snake in the water and the surfer in the background where the birds fly over. I mean, that would be ideal,
That would
but
be ideal, huh, Troy Miller? That's what you would
we'll,
call ideal.
we'll pick
I'm,
this.
I'm gonna say no. That would not be ideal. But yeah, I picked this one as well. This one's good, and yeah, and
Yay.
I don't, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of good shots in here. I like that snake shot a lot. I like Peter's shot a lot. But you got to pick one. You got to pick one and run with it.
Yeah, yeah. So cue the crowd sounds, the clapping.
I wonder if I can do that. Do I even have that? Let me see.
Ecamm does if you're feeding the
I just
sound.
played it. You can't hear it. They can.
I can't hear it. Yeah, yeah, and it's loud and corny.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool. Look at that. We have a show. Good. So,
We do.
congratulations, Tim Engel, on being this
Tim, Tim,
week's
Tim.
favorite shot, and thanks to everyone who submitted their fantastic shots into critique number 116. Troy Miller,
Yes.
I'm going to give you the honor of picking next week's critique topic. What say you?
Ooh, heat.
Heat.
It's gonna be heat. So heat waves, fire, sun, spicy heat.
Oh, caliente. Yeah.
Yeah, heat. Yep,
Okay.
something heat.
Heat.
And
Uh-oh.
it doesn't have to be in black and white, and it doesn't have to have borders, and I'll still look at it.
I know, because you picked Tim Ingles, and that did not have a border on it. Just to go on record, right?
I know, but there were no appendages that were cut off either, and that really
Except
helped
for her
me.
two legs. Her two legs were cut off.
Yeah, I
Just
wasn't gonna
saying.
bring that
So
up.
she is.
I wasn't gonna bring that
Tim
part
is
up.
laughing out loud right now. He's in the chat. You know he's laughing.
Yeah, yeah, no,
No, that was a good chat. I love it.
it's great. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tim Engel all the way. So cool. All right, heat. So like you said, heat could be temperature. Heat could
Yep.
be
Spice.
pressure. It could be
Yeah. Yeah.
emotions, sexy, whatever. Right? Heat.
Oh, a heat could also be what is that? Like a section of a race, right? This heat, right?
Oh
Is that
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Heat.
yeah?
All right, we'll do it. Any before we wrap this one up, do you have any news or reminders or anything you want to share with folks?
F64live.com. Some exciting things coming. Right? We can't tell you yet. It's brewing. I know we say that a lot. COVID has put us on the back burner, but we are planning, and there's stuff happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give a little bit more than that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna fully open the kimono, but I'm gonna give a little sneak peek of what's under the kimono. But so this little, and we'll get more detail on this probably in the member mixer and in emails that'll be going out shortly. But just the Reader's Digest version of it is I've been really hot on this virtual conference event tangent for literally, I don't know, Troy, what's been like 18 months, 2 years now?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a while. I've been talking about that. I want to do one as a sort of natural evolution of what I do on This Week in Photo. And so that's kind of what we're doing. We're doing something along those lines with F64 on the live side and TWiP doing virtual stuff, right? You've seen these virtual conference and virtual summits. It ain't that. It's kind of like that, but much, much cooler. And it's taken a while for me to sort of conceptualize what that looks like. That's not an also ran thing that everyone's doing. Hey, here's another conference. Here's some slides. Here's talking head. How do you do something that actually uses the medium of virtual and leans into the superpowers that we have with Zoom and other conferencing software? So I'm building that for you.
All that. All that. Yep.
All that's coming. Plus, party time at F64 Live. So you get your steak and potatoes at the same time.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
it's gonna be a big deal.
And Cameron, who's in the chat, he's my next door neighbor, and he's gonna be our entertainment for the after party. He's a musician, so
oh, cool. All right.
He's gonna bring some magic to the event. So
all right, we got to find a magician.
In black and white in a border. We're gonna build
need a
him
magician too. We got to have musicians. We got to have magicians. We got to have, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. You guys will enjoy it, especially when we start announcing this stuff, because even the rollout's going to be a little bit different than what you're accustomed to. So, got to do it right.
Yeah.
This is 10 years in the making, people. So it should be cool. All right, cool. So that's it. We'll leave it right there. Thank you everyone for dropping by to our live stream. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do so that we can get some love from the YouTube algorithms and and
Yep.
keep this thing going. So yeah, and this for the members, remember every Friday 6 p.m. US Pacific is our member mixer. Where we all
Yes.
jump in and just act a fool for about an hour plus, sometimes 2 hours.
And the last one was so good.
It's complete fool actage going on there. So if you want to join us, you go. If you're a TWiP member, please join us. If you're not a TWiP member, go to TWiPPro.com and join us for the next one. And you'll have a good time. It's kind of like this, but with more people in the room.
Yeah, with 20 people.
With 20, at least 20 people in there.
Yeah.
So it should be cool. All right, folks. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see you TWiP members this coming Friday. And stay tuned to the TWiP email list for more content and other stuff that we're producing.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thanks everybody in the chat too. That just makes it so much more fun having you here. So we appreciate
Absolutely. Yeah. It's my family. My family.
it. I know. My
I
tribe.
want to cry. All right. See you later. Troy, you have a good
All right,
day.
guys. Be cool.
Peace. All right. Ending the broadcast. And it held up.